Good day, Dr. Elenita G. Cuenca. I'm Roland T. Menelastas from 1BSN A1-3. So I'm here to discuss the impact of Copernican and Darwinian revolution to society. So we have two objectives at the end of the discussion. You should explain how the ideas postulated by Copernicus and Darwin contributed to the spark of the scientific revolution, and also to illustrate the ways by which Copernican and Darwinian intellectual revolution transformed the society. Describe or explain how the ideas postulated by Copernicus contributed to the spark of scientific revolution. Nicholas Copernicus, 1473-1543, was a mathematician and astronomer who proposed that the sun was stationary in the center of the universe and the earth revolved around it. Disturbed by the failure of Ptolemy's geocentric model of the universe to follow Aristotle's requirement for the uniform circular motion of all celestial bodies and determined to eliminate Ptolemy's equant, an imaginary point around which the bodies seem to follow that requirement, Copernicus decided that he could achieve his goal only through a heliocentric model. He thereby created a concept of a universe in which the distance of the planets from the sun bore their relationship to the size of their orbits. At the time, Copernicus' heliocentric idea was very controversial. Nevertheless, it was the start of a change in the way the world was viewed, and Copernicus came to be seen as the initiator of the scientific revolution. Describe how the ideas postulated by Charles Darwin contributed to the spark of scientific revolution. Charles Darwin. Darwin published his book, The Origin of Species, in 1589. This book is considered to be one of the most important works in scientific literature. Darwin collected many significant materials in order to present his theory, with overwhelming evidence. His book presented evidence on how species evolved over time and presented traits and adaptation that differentiate species. Darwin's observational skills as a scientist were extraordinary that moved beyond the realms of plants and animals into realms of humans. His book, The Descent of Man, was so impressive yet very controversial. He introduced the idea of all organic life, including human beings, under the realm of evolutionary thinking. This replaced the dominant views of religious or biblical designs that places human beings in a privileged position of having been created by God. Darwin's theory of evolution scientifically questioned this view. He provided a different framework for doing scientific activities. It is a science marked by observation and experiment. Describe ways by which the Copernican intellectual revolution transformed the society. Nicholas Copernicus was an astronomer who proposed a heliocentric system that the planets orbit around the sun. That Earth is a planet which, besides orbiting the sun annually, also turns once daily on its axis, and that very slow changes in the direction of this axis account for the precession of the equinoxes. Describe ways by which the Darwinian intellectual revolution transformed the society. These pair you had are closely related to the animals at the zoo. The theory of evolution by natural selection, first formulated in Darwin's book on the Origin of Species in 1859, is a process by which organisms change over time as a result of changes in heritable physical or behavioral traits. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. Thus the heavens and the earth were completed in all their vast array. By the seventh day, God finished the work He had been doing. So, on the seventh day, He rested from all His work.